This is Kylie. She goes by Self-Care Maxine on TikTok, and she has been diagnosed with a common condition that I call religious ambiguity. One minute she's reading the Quran while on her period, major haram police violation by the way, but the next minute she's rocking a t-shirt that says, "My pronouns are Jesus saves." Then she's calling Christianity Polynity.
And Yeshua would be throwing up seeing all of this craziness right now.
Then she's defending the hijab.
A very common reason why women have been choosing to cover up.
Then she's defending Islam.
So it's almost like Islamophobes and extremists both distort Islam, and they also kind of scratch each other's backs.
But she looks like a new age spiritualist with a pinch of leftist glitter.
Whoa there, fascist.
She's self-care maxing her way through every religion like it's a buffet. But here's the kicker. The Muslim TikTok community, they don't care that she's confused. They see a white girl praising Islam and they hit share faster than the men of Al-Zut could hit Muhammad. And one of her videos have become Dawah gold because in it, she read the secret feminist chapter of the Quran.
There is a surah in the Quran that is on women. Specifically, the entire thing is dedicated to women. So I'm going to read a few verses from here.
Yes, Surah An-Nisa is called the woman, but calling it that because it respects women is like calling a bucket of fried chicken the chicken because it respects the bird. But she says she's going to read a few verses. I wonder which one. Is she going to start with the banger that is verse 3? Marry those that please you of other women, 2 or 3 or 4. I mean, nothing says I respect you like telling your wife, "Hey honey, I love you so much that I'm getting 3 more wives." Yes, this verse canonizes polygamy, which is known for co-wife rivalry, psychological distress, kids fighting for daddy's attention while he's doing the rotation, and siblings competition that destroys the family unit. You know, amazing stuff, right?
Wrong. But wait! There's more!
The rest of the verse says, "But if you fear that you will not be just, then marry only one or those your right hands possess." And Ibn Kathir, the top tier scholar, clarifies that this means if you can't handle 4 wives, just use your slave girls. Why? Because with a slave girl, you have zero obligation to treat her kindly or equally. You don't even need a marriage contract. Ownership is consent. Yes, the chapter for women gives men the right to 4 wives and an unlimited roster of concubines. But it's not just slave girls. Verse 24 of this same feminist chapter says, "And also prohibited to you are married women, except those your right hands possess." What could that mean? Don't worry your head. Ibn Kathir gives us the tea on why this verse was revealed, and he's getting this from Sahih Hadiths, okay? So Muhammad's companion captured women at the Battle of Autas. These women had husbands who were still alive, and the companions were like, "Oh prophets, these ladies have husbands. Isn't it kind of messed up to sleep with them?" But just then, Muhammad received an update from Allah that specifically says, "Don't worry boys, if you own them, their husbands don't matter." Yes, Surah 424 was revealed to legalize the rape of female war captives. The surah dedicated to women permits sexual slavery. But the crown jewel of Surah An-Nisa is verse 35. This is the one apologists do yoga to explain. It starts off by saying, "Men are caretakers of women." In explaining this, Ibn Kathir quotes a hadith of Muhammad saying, "People who appoint a woman to be their leader will never achieve success." So much for girl boss energy in Islam. But the verse continues, "As for women of whom you fear rebellion." Wait, not the woman who is rebellious. No, just in case you think she might be tilting towards rebellion, then convince her and leave her apart in beds and beat her. Yes, this is known as the crime of attempted rebellion. The judge, jury, and executioner of this offense is the woman's husband, and punishment ranges from a stern warning to domestic violence. But according to Ibn Abbas, this is a beating that is not violent. What does that even mean? Is it like when Muhammad shoved Aisha in the chest so hard that it caused her pain? You know, despite the incident, she still claimed that Muhammad never hit a woman. But define beating however you want. Verse 34 gives a man a divine license to use physical force to enforce authority. And guess what? There is no verse allowing a woman to smack her husband if he acts up. It's a one-way street, folks. So I wonder, which verse will Kylie be reading?
4:19, abusing women financially. O believers, it is not permissible for you to inherit women against their will or mistreat them to make them return some of the dowry as a ransom for divorce, unless they are found guilty of adultery.
Kylie, what translation are you using? The Safe Space translation? Guilty of adultery is a very generous translation of fahisha mubayina. Scholars like Ibn Abbas extend this to mean disobedience and defiance. violence. Ibn Jari extends it further to include rudeness. So if a husband thinks his wife is being annoying or defiant, he is allowed to restrain or annoy her until she gives up her dowry just to escape him. Is this verse protecting a woman's right to keep her dowry after a divorce, or is it offering men a halal way to extort the dowry from their wives?
Treat them fairly. If you happen to dislike them, you may hate something which God turns into a great blessing.
Yes, treat them fairly unless you perceive rebellion. And as we saw in verse 34, the moment he thinks you are acting up, fairness goes out the window and the non-violent beating begins.
If you desire to replace a wife with another, and you have given the former even a stack of gold as a dowry, do not take any of it back. Would you still take it unjustly and very sinfully? And how could you take it back after having enjoyed each other intimately and she has taken from you a firm commitment?
Firm commitment? No. The translation is solemn covenant or firm covenant, so essentially a contract. And according to verse 21, don't take the dowry back if you have gone in unto each other. And in explaining this, Ibn Kathir refers to a hadith where Muhammad said the dowry is in return for the right to have sexual intercourse with her. So sex in an Islamic marriage is transactional. If he doesn't pay, he stole the sex. If he pays, he bought the access. This Quran verse makes the woman a party to a contract where her job is sexual availability. She is essentially a halal prostitute.
It wasn't until Islam came about and they said, no, the bride gets the dowry, the husband can't touch it unless she commits adultery, then obviously that's in question.
Yes, all of that is true if you don't read beyond the surface and you use an English translation that is more like the Message Bible for the Quran.
If you read the Bible or the Quran, please trust me when I tell you that you need context, okay?
Sadly, you couldn't take your own advice, and that's how you end up defending a barbaric work of mental illness by using a chapter that is as friendly to women as a bucket of KFC is friendly to chickens. And she's not alone. Here is a video where I respond to another Islamic scholar on TikTok who says being gay is 100% halal.
There are LGBTQ Muslims who are part of our ummah.